Hello and welcome to Philosophy 120, Introduction to Ethics. My name is Fred Curry and I will be your instructor for this course. I began my college career at a community college, Cypress College as a matter of fact. I wasn't at all happy with my high school experience and didn't really expect to like college, but it turned out that college rewarded all the things that high school, or at least my poor high school, seemed to actively discourage. Instead of mere memorization, college encouraged critical thinking, questioning material, asking tough questions, and creative problem solving. It turned out that in this environment I loved school, and I went on to Cal State Fullerton where I earned my BA in both English and philosophy, and then went on to earn my PhD in philosophy from Bowling Green University in Ohio. Because of this background, I am very happy to be teaching at a community college. My own experience changed my life and instilled in me a real love of learning. Not everybody loves academia, but my hope is that your own college experiences are also terrific, enlightening, and positively life-changing. By being one of your instructors early on, I hope I can play some small role in this. You should note that this presentation is a very brief introduction to the course, and it is not meant to replace reading the course syllabus. As the title of this course implies, this is a survey course in ethics. This means that we will be looking at a wide variety of material in this course instead of spending the whole semester specializing in one narrow area of ethics. The content we will cover will be primarily of three types. During the first third of the class, we will discuss more minor ethical theories and the nature of ethical reasoning. Although it should be noted that we will also be discussing social contract theory during this third, which is an important and influential theory. During the second third, we will touch on three major ethical theories that have been particularly influential. These are utilitarianism, constantology, and virtue ethics. We will also discuss some of the more important serious criticisms of these theories. The final portion of the course will be a more applied section that concerns itself with analyzing specific moral issues. Almost everybody has to struggle with major ethical issues during their lives. Indeed, most people confront at least some moral problems on a day-to-day basis. This course will help give you the tools with which to engage in ethical analysis. Since Western philosophy is largely about analysis, concept clarification, justifying claims, and critical discussion and argument, by the end of this course, you should find that you have sharpened your skills in all these areas. These skills will be important for nearly every course you take in the future. You should also find such skills to be highly valuable in non-academic environments once you have finished your academic careers. At least, this is very much my hope for you. Course objectives. Upon satisfactory completion of the course, students will be able to: first, identify and apply major ethical theories, terms, and principles in the Western analytical tradition. Second, to evaluate the argumentative structure and justifications given in defense of various ethical theories and specific ethical issues. And third, to demonstrate the ability to defend ethical positions and judgments in a principled way by supplying arguments and evidence. This is to be distinguished from mere assertion of personal values or arguments with limited or shallow justification. We will see that ethics, at least as philosophers mean it, is much more than mere assertion of value claims. Okay, before moving on, there's something very important that everybody must know. In order to pass this class, everybody must take and earn 100% on a course policy quiz. Unlike any other assignment in this course, you can take this quiz as many times as necessary to earn 100%, but you must earn 100% on it in order to pass the course. You cannot earn any points for a week unless you have completed this. So if you wish to get points for any assignments during week 1, you need to take this quiz until you earn 100% on it before Saturday midnight of the first week. The quiz shouldn't scare anybody. It is simple. Unlike normal tests and quizzes, it doesn't test critical thinking with concepts or reasoning with new terms. It is simply about course policy, and if an answer isn't obvious the first time, it will likely be obvious the second time through. I require this quiz because so many students say that they simply sign the letter of agreement without reading it. When students take this quiz, I know that they are aware of at least some of the most important class policies. The quiz is to your benefit as well, since once I added this quiz, I also added 5 extra credit points to go along with it. Signing the letter of agreement is also required. The letter of agreement also gets you another 5 extra credit points if you do it during the first week. The course policy quiz is linked to in the first module of the course. This is an online version of the ethics course, and there are a few things that you should be aware of for online courses. First of all, online courses are real courses. They are meant to cover as much material and be just as demanding as real-time, face-to-face courses. While few people like to have to do work while they are doing it, this is actually important for you in a positive way. If community colleges simply became diploma mills, the degrees you received wouldn't be worth anything to employers, they wouldn't help you earn a raise, and they wouldn't be transferable to four-year schools. The online degrees and units you earn help you receive jobs, raises, and work as prerequisites only because they are presumed to teach you as much as a face-to-face real-time course. These courses are therefore meant to meet the academic rigor of the same course taken at any other institution. What does this mean? Well, it means you should know the standard time commitment that is expected of a 3-unit course. The standard time commitment for a 3-unit, 16-week course in California, and perhaps the whole country, is 12 hours a week. This includes 3 hours of in-class time for real-time face-to-face classes. For asynchronous online courses, you are expected to use these 3 hours viewing instructional material and in other ways for the course. Please note that the 8-week courses are required to cover as much material as the 16-week courses in half the time. Again, this is a requirement. This means that the time commitment for a 3-unit, 8-week course is twice that of a 16-week course. It is the same total number of hours, but it is twice as many hours a week because you signed up to do it in half the amount of time. This means that the time commitment for a 3-unit, 8-week course is 24 hours a week. For face-to-face courses, 6 of that would be lecture, but for an asynchronous online course, this 6 hours involves viewing material online and other activities. Of course, some people work a little faster or slower, but you should realize the general expectations from a college course as you go in. The course will also require you to log on regularly throughout the week. You should be able to log in either Sunday or Monday, the first couple of days of the week. You need to log in again and make your primary DQ post before midnight Wednesday, and finally you need to log in to make a response post no later than Saturday midnight. The book for this course is Elements of Moral Philosophy by James Rachel's 8th edition. Other readings will be provided as PDFs for free. You are free to use older editions of the book if they are cheaper for you, but I would suggest going no further back than 6th edition. If you do use older editions of the book, you are responsible for any differences, but if you do not go back past the 6th edition, I would not anticipate any problems. I provide the first chapter in Dropbox for you. My hope is that in this way you can get the best deal possible by ordering a used copy, maybe of an older edition, from a site like Amazon. You may be able to get one there for $20 or less. If you're still waiting for the book, when we get to chapter 2, you can email me a receipt to show me that you have purchased the book, and I will email you chapter 2. I'm afraid that I can share no more of the book than that, as the law begins to tie my hands. Additional readings in the course will be provided for you. In short, I am doing what I can to save you money. I would also like to say something about the course text and authority. Philosophy is different from many other classes you might be used to taking. In many courses, the course texts represent an authority or set of facts that you are meant to understand and accept. In this course, and in philosophy in general, the texts do not represent an end-all authority on what is or is not true, or even what you should believe in the course. The point of our work in this course will not be to simply memorize facts in the readings that you will receive. Of course, you will need to understand the points of view, theories, and concepts the authors use in this course and be able to apply them. But in addition to this, you are free and even encouraged to criticize the textbook and other authors that we will be reading. Indeed, it would be impossible for you to agree with everything that you will read in this course, since the readings will contain opposing points of view. I tried to create an environment that is as safe and as respectful as possible. In philosophy, we will of necessity be discussing controversial topics, but you will never, ever be graded on what you believe in this course. You will be graded on how well you understand important concepts and arguments and how well you can apply them, and even on the strength of arguments constructed. But you will never, ever be graded on your personal views. I think that diversity in a classroom is important, and I want everybody to feel free to express their views in the forums and feel respected and valued. You are even free to argue for positions you do not agree with, to see how strong those positions may be. This is sometimes called playing devil's advocate, and people can learn a great deal from it. Of course, basic netiquette has to be honored, and while it is okay to argue against any position you like, it is not okay to attack people, call them names, and so forth. I almost never have a problem with this, but I do like to mention it. Course organization. This course is organized into 16 modules. In a 16-week course, that means doing one module a week. In an 8-week course, this means doing 2 modules a week. To find out exactly what to do each week, make sure to use the lesson schedule outline as an overview, and then simply look at the information contained within the assigned course modules every week. Though they may vary a bit, each module usually contains a set of assigned readings, lecture or presentation material to help you understand the readings and/or additional important philosophical material. This is usually in the form of one or multiple PowerPoint presentations. A set of form discussion questions or DQs. Usually the DQs will consist of one primary post and one response post. You're free to post more. Modules may also contain a test, quiz, or other assignment. Primary posts, unless they say otherwise, are always due by midnight on Wednesday. Response posts, unless they say otherwise, are always due by midnight on Saturday. And tests and quizzes, unless they say otherwise, are always due by midnight on Saturday of the module in which they appear. The course will consist of 1,000 points total. 900 points and above is an A, 800 points and above but less than 900 is a B, 700 points and above but less than 800 is a C, 600 points and above but less than 700 is a D, and less than 600 is an F. You should note that these are real cutoff points. A B starts at 800 points, not at 799 points. In order to bump up a student, I need an academic reason to do so. It isn't sufficient that a student really want a higher grade, or that the score be really close. Keep in mind that with the course policy quiz, the favors column, which will be explained in a moment, and the letter of agreement, you should all be starting out the course with 20 extra credit points. So this effectively means that these cutoff points are already 20 points under what they are. I do occasionally bump up scores, but there needs to be an academic reason to do so. If a student has done every DQ assignment, for example, that is important. The number of DQs done is the primary thing I look for. Other elements I look for is quality of posts, improvement, taking advantage of extra credit opportunities when they are available, and so forth. The reason I cannot simply give out a couple extra points away without an academic reason is explained in more detail in the syllabus itself. Here's how the points break down for the semester. There are 15 DQs which you can earn 300 points from. There are 6 quizzes. The first is worth 20 points. It isn't any harder or easier really, but is worth less so that you can get used to the quizzes. The rest are worth 40 points each. This still isn't a lot of points. The purpose of the quizzes is to prepare you for the tests. For this reason, the quiz questions are similar to the test questions in terms of difficulty. There are 3 tests. The first test and the final are worth 150 points each. These consist of multiple choice questions and short essay answers. The second test is worth 180 points and is split into 2 parts. There's a 60-point objective portion and a larger essay, which is your major writing assignment for the semester. This essay is worth 120 points. Doing the math, this totals 1,000 points. In addition, if you start the course correctly, you will begin with 20 extra credit points from the course procedures quiz, the favors column, to be explained later, and the letter of agreement. Please remember that you must earn 100% on the course procedures quiz to pass the course and to begin earning points at all. Conversation and debate are essential elements of philosophy, and therefore, even though this isn't a face-to-face class, communication in the forums are heavily stressed. Indeed, this course has been designed around the idea that public discussions in forums will be as important a learning tool as the lecture material I will give you for each module. The DQ forums are the easiest source of points for the course. They are graded for thoroughness and completeness, not for correctness. This means that by taking all of the assignments seriously and reading the instructions carefully, you can earn all of the DQ points. If you earn all of the DQ points for the class, it is possible to earn a failing 58% on everything else in the course and still pass the course with a C. This makes doing the DQs a great opportunity. You are even allowed to miss one DQ for free. At the end of the semester, you will be judged only on your highest 14 out of 15 DQ scores. You do not need to tell me which DQ you are skipping. Also, you should try to read the entire post for 10 or 20 other students for each module you do when you are doing the DQs. The forum discussion questions work a bit differently depending on whether you're in a 16-week or an 8-week course. If you are in a 16-week course, you do one module a week. So you do one DQ a week, none on week 16. This usually consists of a primary post due Wednesday and a response post due Saturday. If you're in an 8-week course, you do 2 modules a week. You usually do the primary post with the DQ that matches the evenness or the oddness of your student ID number. You then usually do the response post for the module that you did not do the primary post for. This can vary, so read the assignments carefully. By doing part of the DQ in each module, this means that you still have to read and think about all the DQ questions. The trade-off for a little less writing is that with a compressed course, there is often a bit less extra credit available because there is less time for meaningful assignments in a compressed course, and deadlines are harsher because we move on to new items more quickly. There are various columns in the gradebook. It is your responsibility to check the gradebook regularly and inform me of any objections you may have before the due date of the final exam. Otherwise, there is a good chance it may be too late to do anything. I try to be exceptionally careful when entering scores, but with thousands of students in an instructor's career and the chaos that often surrounds students turning in items in various ways, combined with the fact that even the most careful of us, who try to double-check everything, are still not perfect, it is very wise to check your own scores. It's good anyway so that you know how you are doing in the course. Additionally, if you see a column marked Miscellaneous Extra Credit in the gradebook, this is not an extra credit assignment that you have missed. It is a column that I use to balance the books if there is a problem I have to fix. It often has a very high points possible value, such as 100 points. I assure you that you are not missing out on a 100 points extra credit assignment. There would never be an extra credit assignment that high in a 1,000-point class. Finally, there is the favors column. In this column, you start off with 10 extra credit points. You keep these 10 points if I never have to break the rules of the course for you, such as let you take a test or a quiz late. If you ask me to take a test or a quiz late or something of that nature, and if I agree, I will set these points to 0 and then let you do the assignment late. This uses up your favor. In this way, students who do not ask to break the rules get a reward, and students who have an emergency are not hurt because these were extra credit points to begin with. It also lets me keep track of anybody who has already asked to take something late so that they do not manipulate the system by doing so multiple times. I also wanted to just briefly mention some of the more important forums in this course. First is the Introduction Forum. I hope that you will use this to introduce yourselves. You will be talking to each other a great deal in the DQ forums, and this helps break the ice. It is also a great way to get to know each other and make new friends just as you would in a face-to-face class. Then there is the Coffee Shop. This is a forum in which you can discuss any tangential topic you like. If you find you that and somebody else have something in common, maybe a series of books you both like, or an MMORPG you play, or some other hobby that you both have in common, you can say, let's talk about this more in the coffee shop, and carry on any conversation you like. The Raised Hands forum is an important forum in which you should ask me questions if you think that those questions might be useful to other students. Please do not use this forum to ask me questions about your own score or matters that only pertain to you, but if you think that others may benefit from your question, it is much better to share your questions in Raised Hands than just to email me, because then only you see the answer. The Anonymous Comments forum provides you with a link to an off-site forum where you can leave me anonymous comments. I think that honest feedback from students is very important. I really hope that you feel free and comfortable to tell me anything you like, but I realize that sometimes it's hard to tell an instructor about something you do not like in the course, or even tell him or her what you do like because it might sound like kissing up. You can use this forum to make completely anonymous comments. Very important though, please do not use this forum to ask me questions that you really need an answer to. Because it's off-site, I only check it every week or so. If I do find a comment, I do try to respond if appropriate, so check back. Then there are the most important forums. These are the discussion question forums. Here is where you will be posting answers to your DQ questions and interacting most with other students. Also, please do not ask me questions when writing your DQs. By necessity, DQs are graded quickly for completeness and not correctness. I do try to comb through them and always pick a few to read more carefully. I then try to send out general comments to the class or sometimes post. If I post in response to a post of yours in the forum, I may not see a reply. This is just my way of giving you feedback. I simply have too many forms to keep track of to look in all of them in every class every day to see if any of my students has written anything to me. So again, if you have anything you would like me to respond to, please use the raised hands forum or email me. And those are the main forums, but there may be some other forums added later as well. The Academic Honesty Policy. Everybody is responsible for knowing the Academic Honesty Policy, and you sign a statement saying so in your letter of agreement. This is discussed more in the syllabus, so I'm not going to hold everybody up by going into detail about it here, except to say that it is increasingly easy to catch text that is just copied from other sources, and this includes paraphrasing closely without citing sources. And it doesn't only apply to essays, the Academic Honesty Policy applies to all assignments, including the forums. So quote and cite your sources. Also, please remember that this was just a quick start guide. There's a great deal of additional information in the syllabus. You should download the syllabus from Dropbox so that you get all the appendices. The course information version does not contain these and does not have full formatting. This includes a lot of useful appendices, hints for making good posts, hints for test taking, more detail about how grading works, and answers to many additional questions. My email address is fcurry1@cccd.edu. Please do not forget the one part of that email address. Coastline already has an F. Curry, though nobody I've talked to seems to know who it is. If you have technical issues, it's best to contact Distance Learning. I'm more than happy to help you if I can, but my advice is likely going to be limited to suggest trying a different browser, making sure Java is updated, and so forth. I am not equipped to troubleshoot your computer or Seaport issues, and I do not have access to all the information that Distance Learning has. So my recommendation for your own benefit is that if you cannot find a solution yourself, that you contact Distance Learning so that you do not waste a day or so waiting for me to respond by saying that I wish I knew the answer to your question, but I don't, so you should try Distance Learning. Again, I won't be upset if you ask me. I'm happy to help you in any way I can, but it may end up delaying you farther, causing you to miss a deadline, and so forth. So it might be best to go to them first. And that is the end to this quick introduction to the course. I look forward to teaching all of you, and I truly hope that you find this course both interesting and rewarding. I am eager to read your optional introductions and begin to get to know you, and it is my sincere wish that you enjoy this class.